So John, you have an incredible aura about you. You have all of this energy. You're so passionate about this. That's not one of those things that just comes by happenstance. There's got to be a story behind it. If I asked you, what's the why behind that? What's the why behind that?
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you, Lester. I appreciate this time. You've inspired me, but my why every single day when I get out of bed is my kids. It's my family. It's I cannot live with the very thought of disappointing my kids. And they are my why. They sustain my mental health. They give me that passion to get up and get after it, not just go through the motions. So in those days I may not feel like it, I may not want to do it, I think about that why. And that's why when I hit my floor, when my feet go down the floor, brother, I'm 2 runs down. And that gives me my drive. I'm not always going to see you in the gym on some days, but I know you're there. That's an inspiration. But the bottom line is my why is my kids, and that's what gets me going, even when I don't feel like doing it.
Love it, love it. So you touched on that word, that they help your mental health. That's what you talk about every day. That is, you're the kingpin on this. You talk to advisors, you talk to brokers all day long. There's people that are still, oh, you got an EAP plan that's part of your long-term disability policy, but you know the reality of what works. What works in this space?
Yeah, we know what works, and a lot of people are using an embedded plan or a plan that is getting underutilized. It's not even known, so people don't even know how to use it, right? So what I know what works is a robust EAP model, one that where you're going to get a personal engagement, one where you know you're going to get a live person 24/7, 365, where a person's going to connect not just with that broker, but they're going to connect with that broker, they're going to connect with that employer group, and they're also going to make sure those employees are informed about it so they all know, and not just the employee, but that household, right? Because we carry those stressors, just like I said, my why, the mental health piece is your home. You're going to carry that stress. Maybe it's not a strength for someone else. Maybe it's an area of weakness or concern. What works is that personal relationship. Just like you and I are brothers, we need to have that relationship in business and life so that mental health is less of a barrier to be used. So working with an EAP provider that is robust, that's going to be engaged, that's going to drive utilization and not change your rates, change your contract, or walk away from you when your utilization starts climbing up there. Find that provider that's going to be committed to the relationship of the group, of the broker, and also the individual employee in the household.
So John, you mentioned mental health. I think it's a conversation and a stigma that is a stigma, right? Especially males and whatnot. But through this pandemic, obviously, we have noticed such uptakes in that. Talk to me about the word, the stigma, and what are people, the old way of thinking of it versus how people should be thinking about it?
That's a great question. So through the whole course of COVID, there's been a lot of discussion about mental health. My real question is, what's being done? What's being acted upon to really take those steps to improve people's mental health? So there still is a stigma, and there are people who are still struggling at the leadership level, and they are in a very difficult position with their employees possibly going out the door, the government telling them one thing. Taking those action steps, I think those leaders that can embrace it and be more transparent about how it's going on in their world, share some of their success stories, can go a long way with everybody else being on board to get the help that they need. So that's why I am so committed to telling my story. I want people to know about my failures. I want them to know that I'm still struggling myself. I want them to know that I use my services because they're helping me in my own mental health. The reality is, no one is exempt from needing a life coach. No one. A business and life coach. No one's exempt. We can't walk this alone. So why even try to think about it? So getting that help you need, owning yourself, and being okay with getting that help, sharing that story is going to get the rest of your management team. It's going to get the rest of your employees and that home and getting the help they need. That's where success lies in mental health, right?
Love it. So you have lots of conversations with advisors, with brokers, and there's still obviously a percentage of them that still go at it the old-fashioned way. If you were sitting in front of an advisor, an employer, what would you tell them?
I would say, look at the benefits you're getting in an EAP plan. Don't go with the check box. Check boxes are not always a solution. Sometimes they can be more damning than a solution. And understand what you're getting if you're paying for a standalone plan, because not all those terms mean the same thing in the worlds of EAP. What is a session? Is it an hour or is it 20 minutes? Are you talking to a master level clinician or someone who got rubber stamped on the internet? Who are you talking to? What is that time frame? Who else is covered? These are questions you need to ask and actually look down that list to explain that to your groups. Don't just go through the motions of, well, it's a check box. Understand mental health. What is their history? What is their track record? Are they going to change the contract on you when you get utilization rates to a certain point? Are they committed to the employee's household success, or they just want to sell you a contract? These are the questions that employers and brokers need to ask when they're looking at mental health solutions.
Awesome. Well, buddy, keep at it. Thank you very much.
You too, brother. Thanks a lot.
Take care.